What's up, guys? Today I'll be showing you how I make my rocket engines at home. It's pretty simple, pretty fun. Hope you enjoy.
Oh my.
So yeah, first things first, let's turn this into this. The things you're going to need is a wooden dowel or some sort of hard material you can shape any sort of cardboard around. And then here you need some sort of thin cardboard. I'm using paper towel rolls. And you also need some Scotch tape to seal up those cardboard rolls. And also scissors. First things first, you cut the rolls, and then you start to roll them around your wooden dowel or the other hard thing that you have. You have to roll it very tightly, make sure there's no gaps in between the dowel or the actual cardboard. And once you get it wrapped tight enough, then make sure that there still aren't any gaps. Get some tape, and all you have to do is just tape it on. Just put the tape around there and make it sturdy so it's very tight, and make sure to tape both the ends of the cardboard. And it just slides right off. It's perfect. Now, the next part, you need some bentonite clay or dirt. I'm using kitty litter, which is just clay, but dirt works perfectly fine. I've done it before. And right now I'm just filling up an old blender that I have. It's super simple. You just put the clay in a blender, and then you just have to pretty much blend it up until it becomes a really fine powder. And the only thing about this is when you blend it up super long, it makes this white gassy type of cloud, and it's just really fine dust particles in the air. So, I mean, I wouldn't try to breathe it in. I'm not wearing a mask in this video, but if you have a mask, it might be smart to just wear it, because as you can see, when I open the container, some dust comes out. And just pour all that clay, or powdered clay may I say, into just some plastic container that you can keep it in. And also for this process, make sure you have a funnel, because it's very important if you don't want to spill any of the clay all over your floor. Once you have all the clay in that container, you can go and get your little cardboard roll thing that you made, and go get your funnel, and then put the funnel on there and pour the clay right into the tube. Once you get a moderate amount in there, then get your wood dowel that you shaped your cardboard tubing with, and get a mallet and just hammer it in there. You only need a few hammers, but you literally just have to hammer it until you see that there's no more powder moving around and it gets really solid. And once you do this, then you will be ready for the next step. Here, I'm just going to do another one really quick. Okay, now it is time to make our fuel. First, you need some ordinary sugar. Powdered sugar is better, but I'm just using some normal sugar. You need a scale to measure our different proportions, and you need some potassium nitrate or stump remover from local hardware store. And you also need your same blender that you use for the clay or your dirt. First thing is first, you have to get out your scale, and you put your blender on it, zero it out, and you measure out 35 grams, or 35 grams of sugar. And it might be smart to use a funnel this part too, so you don't spill some like I did. But it's all fine. After you have your 35 grams of sugar, then turn off your scale and put the lid of your blender on. And you need to blend your sugar to a powder, almost as if you had powdered sugar. If you did just buy powdered sugar, you could skip this step, but for most people, just blend the sugar up into fine powder. After you have your powdered sugar, just pour that into a separate cup. We'll use it later, but we need the blender for something else. Now get out your scale again, zero it out, and then pull out your potassium nitrate or your stump remover from the hardware store. And you're going to pour in 65 grams of this. After that, you turn on the blender again and also blend this to be a really nice powder. Get the same consistency as your sugar. Then when you have both powdered substances, just pour them in the same container with each other. And after they're in the same container, just give them a good shake. I usually shake mine for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Congratulations! You finished making your rocket fuel. Now, go back to your cardboard cylinder and fill that in right above where you hammered the clay in. Just like it was clay, you can add the same amount as you did the clay, and you just do a bunch of different levels of hammering. So most of mine, it takes me like 3 or 4 rounds, because I'll add in a little bit of fuel, hammer it down, add in some more, hammer it down. And I found out that the more times you repeat this process, so basically the less amount of fuel you put in at a time, the better results you'll find with your rocket. The more you try and rush making your rockets, then you're not going to get as good of an engine as you would have taken more time. After you fill it up and you have about 1 centimeter left, you want to fill in the rest with clay. And to do this, you basically just fill it up to the top, hammer it down, and do that a few times until you get clay all the way to the top. I've just finished, and you can feel the whole inside of the rocket is very solid. Okay, now for the last step, the drilling. You need a drill and a drill bit. I will be using a 3/16 inch drill bit. I also made sure to find a drill bit with a very sharp tip in order to ensure that I will drill into the rocket smoothly but quickly. Now put on the drill bit and make sure that it's spinning straight. Then measure out, just by eyeballing it, how deep you need to drill into the engine. Mine had to go all the way through, but yours may not have to, depending on the length of your rocket engine. Get a stand, I'm using my brother, and just drill straight through the rocket engine. You need to make sure that the hole of what you're drilling is directly in the center of the cylinder so that the fuel burns equally in every side. And slowly bring it back out. You don't want to yank it out because then that can disrupt all of your jet fuel in the middle. Also, the last thing is if you're going to be storing these rockets for a while, go get an airtight container and fill it up with some sort of moisture-absorbing salt. I'm using ammonium sulfate, but you can also use potassium nitrate. The reason for this is because potassium nitrate absorbs moisture out of the air, and if you let your rocket engine sit out too long, it can become very damp, and that is hard to fix. Thank you for watching my video. I would really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Also share it with your friends. And please comment if you have any questions or suggestions. Thanks, and bye.